Okay. So, hi.
Hi, Megha. It's so nice to see you.
Welcome to the Helloo Sunshine podcast. Anyway, no,
Okay,
forget
hi.
forget there's a podcast
Okay.
at all. This is just for us. But yeah, I told you like what the point of this is, and I wanted to start with just like your childhood and like how do you remember yourself as a kid? What were you like?
I was like a monkey, I think. I used to love being outdoors. And like where I grew up, right, we had a lot of space outside and we had playgrounds and uh,
Where did you grow up?
in Gangtok in Sikkim. And my dad was like constantly traveling also because he's a doctor. So we've lived in so many different kinds of houses, but it's like just one thing was common that we had a lot of place to
Space.
play. So I would play cricket and basketball and eat mud and like
You're one of those
go
kids.
wild, like go smell the flowers and touch them and eat them and like just so curious about the earth and flowers and all of that. So yeah, it was. I had a great childhood, like, and I went to a boarding school also when I was like 5 years old. So I always
Oh, you were
had
5 years
playmates.
old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I always had playmates. You know, like you always have someone or the other to play badminton with or throw ball or. And you have designated timings when you like are supposed to go and play, which is so amazing, right? So yeah, like it was
That's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah. What was your relationship with your family like, for example?
Um, so we would meet them only during vacations,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, it was more about ki you've become so thin in hostel. Like, why don't you eat?
Right.
You know, but yeah, they took like a lot of care and like they made sure our health was fine and we're getting the best education and yeah, but I don't know, like now that I think about it, right? I feel that I've not had deeper conversations with them where I've actually sat down and told them about this is happening in school or always like when my mom would ask me, right, when I come from vacation, ki kya hua you? And I'm like, Mama, I don't want to talk about it. Like it's over, it's in school and now I'm home.
Yeah.
And I
So
always
did you have the desire then to talk about it, or is that a desire you wish you had like now?
I'm still trying to figure that out because I don't know if, like, I don't know why I didn't say it. Maybe it was just laziness, you know, like I don't want to bring my that part of my life here and not take anything from here to where I go back, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe if I did open up, uh, my mom would have understood me better, or like my dad would have understood me better. But I never tried because, or maybe I thought that they'll not understand. I don't know.
So it's almost like then you have two sides of you. One is the one at the hostel, and then one is the one at home.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
how were they different?
Um, I think I was quieter at home, and more shy. But like whenever I went to hostel, I would be like just out there and taking part in all those things, and I had more confidence, I think, around whatever my own peers. Yeah, but people like in my family always knows me as this quiet girl, like who doesn't talk much and is always like lost in her thoughts and all that. But my school, actually, man, this my school friends viewed me really differently.
Yeah.
That's true. Fuck. Yeah, that's true.
So
I never thought about this. Yeah.
how did that affect you? That seeing being seen differently at home, like maybe not when you were a kid, but as you grew up, having those two separate sides. How did that affect you?
I was very comfortable, I think. Now I haven't thought about it. This is something like absolutely new. But at that moment, like if I think about that moment, right, I was absolutely comfortable in that. Like it was as if you're entering, like when you enter the gates, you're entering a new dimension, you know, and this is how you're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And then you go to hostel and you enter that, whatever that gate, and you're like, oh, this is something else.
Yeah. Well, I'm really relating to it because it was the same for me where my peers felt I was very, open and loud, and my parents thought I was a mouse. And how that affected me as I grew up is that it's what you said, like I felt they didn't understand me. I felt they didn't know me. And so then I struggled with being fully myself even as an adult with them, because it's like, to introduce them to my other sides was difficult. Did you ever feel that way?
I was never embarrassed of my
Of your parents?
of my parents. Like my dad, he's still a doctor, and the main thing is, can they speak English in front of your friends, right? And that's what you're most embarrassed about. But my mom, like, she's a housewife, and she can talk, but very broken and very underconfidently. But I was never like, I thought my mom is awesome, and like they are my friends, and it was easier. But I'll tell you one thing in relation to this, okay? That but as I grew up, right, and when I was 18 years old was the first time I was moving to the cities, right? And suddenly I got introduced to a whole lot of things like alcohol and cigarettes and parties and going out like with friends in the night, which usually at home you're not allowed, right? And you're living independently, you're eating whatever you want to and all of that. And one day, so I'd spent like good 5-6 months as a paying guest in Bangalore, right? And one day my mom calls me, and I'm just like casually talking to her, and she said, like, what do you do with your free time? Why don't you join some cooking classes, or do you wear sari to college and all of that, okay? And those questions really struck me, like hit me hard, because I was thinking, is this the view my mom has of me? Like, I would go to a cooking class, that is so different, I am so different, doesn't she know?
Yeah, it's like strange.
Yeah, and it felt really strange to me, and I thought, yeah, I've grown up in a hostel, and obviously she hasn't seen like a really large part of my life, right? And now that I'm away and I'm doing like, I'm figuring out how to use this independence, and I'm growing up and I'm developing interest and all of that, and my mom is like, why don't you take a cooking class, which I would never go for, never.
Absolutely.
Right? So that day I decided that whatever I do, obviously there'll be like 10-15% which you need to hide from your parents, right?
Yeah.
But things like I'm drinking alcohol, and I'm partying, and I'm coming home late in the night, and my boyfriends, I just started telling her without fear. Like, just, I thought she needed to know the kind of person I am. So
How did she receive it? I mean, I'm guessing that she must have received it also, because it's not easy to just open up to your parents for a lot of people.
I just let go of the fear. Fear is such a bad leader. I've just recently realized this, right? And we just let it lead our lives all the time. Like, it's such a bad leader. You don't want it in your army of
it's
like...
an obnoxious leader.
Yeah. So then... Also because, like my mom is the kind of person who's always been so curious about my life. Like I told you in my childhood also, right? That I would... not tell her what's happening, but she would always ask me, and I thought, like, yeah, she's interested, I should tell her the truth, like, why should I this? So, like, she initially, when I would tell her, obviously it's getting like, she's shocked, right? But she would take 2 days off, not talk to me about that particular thing at all. And then she would come back to me and she'd be like, yeah, I understand. Like, and we've had our fair share of like she yelling at me and me yelling back, and like trying to convince her and all of that. But I let go of that fear, and it just...
Wow. So she did react negatively sometimes and be like, why are you doing this?
But it was never hurtful. Like, I could understand at that time that I'm throwing so many things at her which like she would have never experienced in her childhood. Like, her mom had, I'll tell you, I think 10 children.
Wow.
Which means like for 10-12 years you're pregnant.
All the time.
Isn't it so exhausting?
Whoa.
And I'm like, what kind of upbringing would my mom have gotten? For a lady to have like 10 kids, and she wouldn't have paid attention to anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she didn't know, like whatever her mom gave her, she just took it. She never questioned anything. Like half the time she doesn't know what she's doing, why she's praying to God, or like why things are a particular
You're just
way.
raised on autopilot. In a way.
Yeah, and they were never allowed to question, and they never like her mom would have never sat her down and like spoken to her, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she was just like, yeah, matlab,
But what you
Jessica.
said was so. What I took from it is what you said, that she wasn't hurtful. And I think sometimes if a parent reacts in a way where they say something mean, or they hurt you, or they say, you're good for nothing.
Yeah,
A lot of kids grow up hearing, what are you? You're useless. And that can hurt. And it sounds like you didn't experience that.
No, I did. It was more like, why are you doing it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
कैसे बच्चे हो तुम लोग, मेरा
Yeah.
परवरिश में and all that happened. But it wasn't कि you're hopeless or like I don't
It
love
wasn't
you.
an attack on you. It was
Yeah.
more from love and concern and not understanding your world.
Yeah, that's what like I understood at that time, and
That's
I
how
thought,
you interpreted her as well.
Yeah.
And that's also your interpretation, which is good.
which made it easier for me to open up. If
Absolutely.
I would have gone the other way and thought it as a block, right?
Yeah.
I would have never been able to
Share yourself with her. Yeah. So how has that then grown over time? This whole thing of sharing yourself, being yourself with your mom, for example.
Amazing, I think, because now I can tell her anything, and it's so easy. Like now when I go to gang talk, there's no deadline for me, like I can party till 12, 1 and come back, and next day my mom will be like, daru piya na, all I shall do.
That's amazing.
But like I can, because I want to go out. Yeah, well, gang talk shouldn't be a prison for me, right? I'm going from so much freedom to a better place, my home. But then it should be restrictive. Then what's the fun? in
Yeah,
going home?
absolutely.
It shouldn't be still regimented and be like 7 baje aa jana and all. I have friends, there also, and I want to have fun with them, and I'm allowed. Like nobody tells me anything.
That's so beautiful, man, because I think all of us want to be understood, right? And like you said, maybe they would have understood me sooner, which means that even for you, that desire is there to be understood by your parents.
Yeah, there is.
And like if you could get that from your family and you have that, it's amazing to be able to have that. Do you still feel it? Like, do you feel understood fully, or do you feel like there are parts of you that you don't feel the world or your family fully understands?
Like there was a time when like my parents would keep telling me get married, and that's the time like in recent years when I felt that they didn't understand me at all. Like my mom had like both phases where she was like koi baat nahi if you are not this whatever ready for marriage or whatever, but my dad was just like he just couldn't understand that why it's happening, and like again creating profiles online and like sending me the kind of rishtas which I would never have thought of and all that. So that time I think they got really desperate.
They were worried about you.
Yeah, and they also see it as a responsibility or whatever, right? So it's a little selfish also there.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm sure they're worried about me being alone and all, but that's not going to happen. But anyway.
So how did you deal with it?
I had my brother and my sister, like, they're just 1 year elder and 1 year younger to me, so we're like really good friends. So my brother took a lot of it at that time. Like, I would communicate to daddy through him.
Right.
Because I have a very, very close relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
And I can't, it's so hard for me to like
oppose him.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Like there are things we disagree on. Like suppose he has a point of view on politics, or those are things it's easier, right, to disagree with. But like this feelings and all of that is just so hard for me. So I would communicate to him through my brother, and my brother would like fight with him and. Like Aram se he would talk to him and used a lot of tactics to do that. But
your brother's older?
No, he's younger.
He's younger.
Yeah. But he's really protective. Like siblings wise, we are like really sorted.
Tell me about your relationship with your siblings. How was that when you were young? And
so I went to a boarding school in the mountains, and my
brother. Were they there?
My sister was with me, and my brother went to a boarding school in Raipur. So he had longer summer vacations and we had longer winter vacations. So we hardly met. Okay, we would just meet like for a week a week in the summer. And us time too, we didn't have mobile phones also, right? So there was like
you can't keep in touch.
You can't.
Would you write letters?
Sometimes I would write to my parents like once every 2 weeks. But my brother, like, again you have to buy more stamps and then you have to go to sister, take special permission, they'll read your letter.
Oh my God.
A big like Catholic schools are that regimented, right? So even if you got a letter from your parents, like even if we got letters from our parents, it would be read first and then passed on to us. So it was quite like they were in your face, you know, or in your life, and I don't know. Anyway, so we hardly met, but whenever we did, like there was just so much love towards each other, right? But my sister and I grew up together in the same school. But I think that time, no, you're more with your friends.
Yeah, so there's like, almost a distance sometimes with your sibling.
Yeah.
It's like she's that and I am this.
Yeah, and like she had different interests and my friends were like different, and there would be days where we would not talk at all also, like, you know, in the same premise also, because वो need ही नहीं था.
Right. Did you all get along, or were you all like the fighting, like didn't like each other?
No, it wasn't like that. But when I came to college was when my sister and I started living together.
And college was also in
Bangalore.
In Bangalore. She was also in Bangalore.
Yeah. Same college also we went to. So that time we had a really hard time adjusting, because that was the first time I think I was like living with her. And that time we had a lot of arguments, and she couldn't understand me and I couldn't understand her, and a lot of things, right? But now, like, we've sorted it all and it's nice.
How did that?
So she started doing her master's in psychology in America, and I think because of that she started realizing a lot of things. And I don't know, it's very weird. Like sometimes when you hit an age, right, like it may be 29 for some, 30, 31, whatever, you suddenly it's like as if you enter some place where you're just having so many epiphanies, and it might be because you are put from location A to B, like a new environment.
Absolutely.
Right?
It makes you question everything about yourself, about...
like you have time to think, maybe, I don't know, or like like certain experiences bring that out in you. And I think she had a lot of that, right? And and so many times now she brings up like how she was with me when she was in Bangalore, and she keeps apologizing for it, and
she recognizes the impact she had on you, which is so amazing for her to recognize it, and not for you to have to go to say, you did this or you said this and that's how I'm affected.
And there are some people, right, where if they did something bad to you, you get over it. Yeah. Right? But
when you're siblings, you don't get over it.
You just cannot. You just cannot. Because I used to keep thinking that I'm a sister, like how can she talk to me like this? Or how can she treat me like this? Yeah. And for her, and I kept like, over time it went deeper and deeper inside me, and it had stopped bothering me. But when she realized it herself, and she came back to me and she narrated all those, and she said, I'm sorry for this and I'm sorry for that and I'm sorry for this. So
what was that like for you?
I would just cry and cry. Like there have been days it feels like I'm letting go of so many things. It just,
because it reactivates the traumas, right? Like it's like you probably push them away. And had you, or...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it had buried it so deep, right? That it had stopped hurting so much. Yeah. Like, it would come out once in a while, and it would come out in the sense that our relationship wasn't that deep anymore, because then you don't want to
keep away. You'd want to protect yourself from her. Yeah.
But now I want to go like all out and like listen to her and like what's happening in your life, tell me. And not kidding, every day we talk to each other. Like she's just about to sleep and I wake up early. I wake up around 5:36 and she calls me and we have like 1 hour, 2 hours like conversation on so much about life and people in our lives.
That's amazing.
And she's the one person who knows my childhood. She knows my hostel side and she knows my home side, right?
Yeah.
She's the only person actually in the world. So it's so nice to talk to her now. I just love it because she went through a lot of shit herself, right? Which I was completely unaware of. Like the way I would probably feel jealous of her, she did feel for me, which is such a revelation right now because we didn't know what the hell.
Yeah, you just assume. I don't know. My assumption is that you think the older sibling is like cool and they think they're cool and you're just this silly follower type person.
Yeah.
Was that the case for you too?
I think she was always more confident, right? So people, and she was very pretty, so she would get like a lot of attention, and I would be like, "Kya hai? Matlab, like."
Would you get like pushed aside?
Not pushed aside, but like
compared.
People are like now, if you think about it rationally, people are generally attracted to cute faces, in kids and cute whatever people and all of that, right? So naturally, people got
gravitated towards her,
and first child in the family, so always pampered,
lots of attention.
So she was very confident, and I was like maybe I didn't open up too much in things. So I was viewed as a quiet girl also, and who likes a quiet girl? Everybody likes a naughty kid, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So maybe because of all of that. That happened, and then I started burying myself in like books and like playing sports and all of that because I was like, I'll make myself better in all those things and not worry about it, worry about the fact that I don't look nice. So yeah.
Did you carry those messages with you growing up though?
No. 1 second.
Because earlier on we talked about how our stories might be the same, but we interpret things differently, and I'm feeling that so much while talking to you because it was so similar, and the comparison and being quiet and all of that, and sometimes you carry with you those messages of like you're not good enough or you're not capable of doing something that your sister is good at doing. And did any of that carry forward for you?
That's what I rationalized very early on in life, and I don't know, I don't remember a time when I actually thought, sat down and thought, but it just happened that so what if I'm not cute or whatever, right? I will take part in elocution. I'll be in the
I'm gonna do things my
team.
way.
Yeah. So it came very early on. So I didn't, sort of, and also then I would get praised for that.
You weren't trying to be heard. You were just finding your own way.
Yeah. So I would get attention for doing really well in class or participating in sports.
Yeah.
So it was satisfying. I found out a way like that, right? But I think somehow, later on again, when you start thinking, you realize that you've always craved to be liked, and maybe it developed because of that. But yeah, somewhere you felt that your mom probably didn't love you enough. Or,
yeah. No matter how amazing a childhood you have, it's undeniable that we have these interpretations as kids, and and you don't almost don't want to admit them, right? That I felt these things, but you did.
I did. I don't know. I want to be more specific about this, but I can't
put a finger on it.
Yeah, I can't understand how to.
But so you said that there was this thing about wanting to be liked, and that maybe you started feeling that in your family first, do you want to talk more about like how that was in your family, or maybe you know, how did it show up in other aspects of your life?
That's what I'm trying to frame, you know. Ek to, I come from a Marwari family and I was the second daughter. Second daughters are never liked, right? So
It's like we didn't want a daughter.
Everybody wanted a son. So obviously Lohit got like a lot of attention because you were the son, and Sam was the first kid.
So
And I think when I was born, my sister was 1 year old. Like my mom would have been so tired, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that also came out, and so yeah, I felt like that now, and I don't know how to understand it because my parents have genuinely put in a lot of this, right? And it's not like I'm blaming her or anything, but I constantly try to figure why would I feel like that? Why did I feel like that? And the other thing was that so I was in a family where the reason why my parents sent me to a boarding school was also because there used to be a lot of fights in my family. I had one aunt who was unmarried.
You were living in a joint family?
Not exactly. Yeah, sort of. Like my granddad was there and my aunt was there, and
your dad's sister was there.
Yeah. And my dad, mom, and like we would all like live on the same floor because like our house wasn't built then, and there used to be like a lot of yelling, right? And my mom would be so frustrated all the time, and she would constantly be yelling at us, and so that really got onto me, I think. And I always felt like things are never going to be fine in this house, and there's going to be like yelling all the time, and so maybe that's why also, you know, I felt that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I had a release like last year about it.
Yeah.
I was going for a wedding, and my mom, she gets really hyper when she's packing, okay? And she was like yelling constantly, and she kept telling me, like you haven't packed yet and we have to leave in 2 days. And I was like, Mama, I'm like 30 years old, man, like I can pack my stuff. And I was being really chill about it. And she kept on and on for 2 days, and you will not believe me, I yelled back at her and I said, chill out, mat. And she went all quiet, okay? And she's looking at me. I said, yes, don't yell at me anymore. Like, you know, I'm just so fed up of this. If you want to talk, you can talk properly. You can talk softly, because I will understand. Like, I'm not stupid. Please don't yell at me. So she just walked out of her room, and she went to her bed, and she just went under a blanket. And I don't know where I got that strength from, because usually I'm a very emotional person, right? And it's my mom, but I didn't.
You want to be caring and all of that.
Yeah. And but I didn't go to talk to her then. I thought she should understand that what she cannot yell at me, you know. And I let her be for like a couple of hours. I also like stepped out and came back. And then I sat her down and I told her that I do not like this at all. I cannot take it, and you have to understand it. And yeah, she hasn't yelled at me since.
Really?
I thought it was like time that I cannot, I just cannot.
Wow, that must have taken a lot. Like, I mean, to finally say something.
Went here. I couldn't take it anymore. I can't take yelling.
How did that change things inside you? Because for the first time you were standing up for yourself. You're saying, no, don't treat me that way. You know?
Yeah.
I won't allow you to treat me that way.
I don't know, the thing was not so dramatic, like the realization.
Yeah.
It just came out honestly. I think I said, why am I taking all this bullshit? I don't like it. Yeah. And it's not like I'm not telling her to do something which is nice. It's a bad thing. You should not yell at anybody.
Yeah. What do you think was stopping you from saying that all those years though?
Like, I used to think like Mama is always so frustrated and it's coming out on us. And
this is how she is.
Yeah. But it kept affecting me, and
Yeah.
it came out. So I
Yeah.
just let it go. I think, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what we were talking about before this. But there's so much there. But okay,
Yeah.
so that's your family. What about, so once you went to college, tell me more about how that shaped you.
College, though, oh my god, it was like freedom, absolute freedom for the first time. And like do whatever you want to do, like wear different kinds of clothes. And because it's summer also, right? Like it's so cold, you're always wearing loose sweaters and jeans, and now suddenly you can wear shorts and roam around the streets. Fuck, it was amazing. And eat a lot of biryani, because you get like really good biryani and thing. But otherwise also, yeah, like in college, take part in plays and like get introduced to new kinds of literature. There was African and there was Bengali literature, and make a documentary film, and it was so amazing. So my college would start at 8:20, and like we would sleep at 1, 2 and all sometimes, right? Because freedom. But I would always go to. I had, like, you'll not believe, I had 95% attendance.
Wow.
Because
you just enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, like psychology. I got introduced to psychology for the first time there.
Yeah.
Because in the mountain, like, you have limited.
Absolutely, they're teaching you basics.
Yeah. And psychology meant I had never read anything. And I was like, fuck, बहुत amazing होने वाला है. And I had literature. And I had 95% attendance, because I used to just love college so much. And I made friends like that.
Yeah.
Right? First day I met this girl who's sitting. I'm sitting here and she's sitting on the other side of the bench. And she looked like she's from the northeast. So I asked her, hey, where are you from? And she said, Sikkim. I said, me too. and then we started talking, and we talked so much that we realized that when we were in class 6, we had played basketball against each other.
Wow. She was in a different school, but you all had...
Yeah, so we participated in this tournament together, and our team had won. So I kept making fun. So I got that connection like instantly.
On
right?
the first day.
Then there was this Nigerian girl, and she was looking really sad, okay? So I thought like she's come from really far away, doesn't know the country, and like naturally I went and I said, hey, like, what happened? You look really sad. Are you missing your parents? And then she said, no, yaar, I'm feeling really sleepy. First day of college, first day. And I was like, fuck, like, I want to be your friend, man. And we just became friends, you know? Because first day, you're like wearing your best shirt and like wide awake, probably has like, slept earlier so that you can wake up on time. So much drama happens, right? But like, I'm so sleepy, man. And then we had to introduce ourselves in class, and she's like, hi, my name is Justina, and I like to do stuff. Okay. And also one more thing, I hate marbles, because I feel that someone snorted into them. I want to be your friend. And yeah, like till now we are really good friends. Now she's in Bangalore, so yay, I get to meet her, and she has a baby boy and all of that. But yeah, like we.
That's so
grew
cool.
up
Like you
together.
really chose your friends then because of something you saw in them. Right? What did you see in her that, like, how do you describe?
So quirky, right? Like, who wasn't saying, yeah, I like to do stuff.
You just like that she was being herself.
Yeah, she was being absolutely herself, and not going and saying, hi, my name is Anisha and I'm from here, and like, so boring, man. Like, bring some of yourself.
Yeah.
And she put herself out there, and like, what a fun girl. That's so creative. So I was like, these are my friends from
It's
today.
amazing, man.
So, but like till now, we have crazy friendship, and that's why we became friends. And it was like we are still friends because we are connected. It's not like, I wanted to be a friend and it didn't work. I instantly knew that this person can be my friend.
Yeah, you just relate something.
Yeah.
And it's like, this person is my kind of person. So how is your how did your identity, if at all, change? If you see yourself, from college days.
I became really feminine, yeah, Megha. I don't know how. Like, I had boycott hair in my school days, and I had like no crushes. Okay, break time so we had these black stockings that we had to wear, right? Break time I would go play basketball because I would love it so much. I fall down every time. I would have these holes in my socks, and my friends had figured out a way because now you have to either order for new socks, and it's hard to get, right? Or like you go back to the hostel, change, come back, whatever. So my friends had figured out a way where they, the sketch pens, uska piche ka that sponge is there, no, that which has the ink. So they would remove that and they would paint it black so that it would blend in.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So I was like a boy only, I think, like not bothered about my looks or like.
Was it a girls' school?
It was a co-ed. The hostel was all girls, but it was co-ed.
The education part of it was
cool. I think again, like that part of me, I developed more because I would always think that I don't look so good, so there's no point altering this part.
Yeah.
So I never looked at boys because I thought, ki kya,
who's going to be interested?
Yeah, who's going to be interested? Might as well have fun, like go and run around and whatever.
It's a blessing in a way, right?
Yeah, so easy, man. Like I didn't have any of that, but like college was the first time I started growing my hair.
Yeah.
And I started getting attention from guys, I think. Like randomly, one time, like guys buying new drinks in party places, and like such a weird thing happened. Like we were all with my girlfriends, we were walking on the street, and I would take that street every day, right? Because home to college is like the same route. And one day we were just walking, and one guy randomly he came on a cycle and he gave me a gift, lad. And I thought it was bomb, so I threw it away. But such kind of things started happening because like those things had never happened to me. So I was like, "Arey, what is this?" So then you start taking more care because you're enjoying that attention and all of that. So yeah, those. I don't know, those kind of, maybe it was hormones also, I don't know. I was 18 that time. But yeah, that's when like I had my first boyfriend also.
Yeah.
I was like, ye to sahi hai. This is like such a new thing in my life.
How did that change you, being in a relationship, exploring that?
So intense, yaar. 18 years, who told me to fall in love? I don't want to be in love when I'm 18, yaar. It was great, but when it ends, like you're like, what the fuck?
You experience all that heartbreak and...
Yeah, and that love is like just driven by so many chemicals, like suddenly...
it's like a high, right?
Yeah,
like
high, constantly. It is drugs.
Yeah.
Correct. So, like you're so dedicated, you go from... home to college you finish early so that like when he's done you are free, and like spending so much time with him and whatever, messaging and whatever shit. Yeah. Fun though. But
did that how did that affect your idea of yourself? Because sometimes when we enter relationships, some people lose themselves, some people start seeing themselves the way their partner sees them. How did it affect you?
There was no analyzing that time. I was just in love, Megha. I never analyzed like why do I like him so much or why do I want to be with him so much.
You just liked him.
I just was like with full dedication, concentration, everything that you have, because you're just enjoying that high so much. Like it's happening to you for the first time and you're 18 and... yeah, I never analyzed my relationship or where is it going, like is this the right guy for me. Like, if he would have married me, I would have been like with 2 babies right now.
Oh, no.
Not kidding. But thank God that didn't happen because I just had like this whole range of experiences which I would have completely missed out on. Thank God.
Yeah.
Insane.
Is that my phone or is that yours?
Is that mine? I have an alarm. Sorry, Megha.
No, it's okay, yeah. Huh. So what you talked about this range of experiences that you've had. Tell me more about, like, what are some of the experiences that have really changed you or meant a lot to you?
So, experience, matlab, very basically, if I have to tell you, it's like I would be in Siliguri with 2 kids probably by now, because I would have got married at 21. And Siliguri is a town where I don't want to live now, right? If I think about it, what would I have done? Yeah, like very limited things, and people are more into. So I would have been a completely different person, probably. Like as I grew up, felt trapped in it because hey, that is not me, yaar. Like I'm not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
The self-awareness was so like
Yeah.
nothing. It was nothing. It was just blinded by hormones and getting that high and all of that.
Yeah.
And then after that, all the relationships I've had have like gradually been more mindful. Like started making my choice again, like going from very very into it to like thoda dur and analyzing whether I really want to be with this guy, to again analyzing and not succumbing to like a lot of things, to like being more open about how you feel, even if that person is not may not like what you say, but staying true to yourself, man. Like I am this person. If you don't like me, then it's not necessary for you to like me.
Absolutely.
Like to from like being very pleasing all the time to hey, this is me. Like if you don't like me, it's all right. Things don't work
How
out.
did you
between
learn
two
that?
people.
Because that's such an important lesson. And
because then like you realize, you know, similarities in the way people are treating you, and then suddenly you move back and why is this person also being like this to me? And then you realize that it's my fault.
That I'm allowing it.
I'm allowing it, or I do certain things which bring those kind of emotions out.
Yeah.
Or
that they don't really like me as I am. They want me to be something else.
Yeah.
I haven't been myself. So.
And to realize, you know, that every connection has to work out was also such a big thing. Like, no, yaar, two people
Doesn't
can.
have to,
It doesn't have to. It's okay if that person doesn't like you. He wants a different kind of person.
Yeah.
Stop being that person who he wants, because that is so. It's false. It's untrue.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having so many experiences.
And
like,
sorry, just one thing I want to say is, and just shit, I lost that point.
You were saying all these people who we were talking about them wanting you to be a certain way and moving away from that.
Yeah, like you're not being true to yourself, right? But anyway, maybe it'll come to me. Yeah.
Sorry,
you were saying something.
No, I forgot. I was just saying that that's the amazing thing about having multiple experiences with different partners and learning through that. Like, how do you allow people to come close? Like, how do you allow people in?
Because then I don't know. It's like how knowledge gives you more power, right?
Yeah.
And gradually, as I moved from one relationship to the other, I picked up what I did wrong, and like I thought, chalo, these are the problems that I had. Now I have the solutions. I can now with this thing I can get into another one, and then I can get into another one. So slowly building the confidence, and the other confidence also is now that I don't have to be someone else to be loved. Like I will get a guy who likes me the way I am.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And it'll come. It's not like you keep thinking ki, no, I'll mold myself a certain way so that I get someone to be with me or like me or whatever. That fear of being alone is also gone.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like now I want to just be the way I am, and like whoever comes has to
enjoy yourself, to enjoy life.
I'm a great person.
Yeah.
You know, just realizing that is such a big thing.
When did you realize that?
I think last year, like I just took
Time
an off.
off.
I packed off my Bombay house and I just moved away from all the people that I've known for like 9-10 years, and it was really hard.
Tell me more about
And,
this year. What was that like to move away, and what was that inner process you went through?
So I went away and I went home because I think that's the
First thing you
first
do.
thing you do. And you know कि मतलब कैसे भी चले जाओ. I had so much stuff and like I have a home to go to, and it was just
Yeah.
amazing. It gave me a lot of time to think about why I want to be with this person or that person, and what is wrong, and why have I been feeling like always, a certain kind of sadness would just be there inside me, and why am I so unsatisfied? Do I need to bear this burden like of just others being happy, and like what about my happiness? And suddenly like I told you, you just enter a cave full of epiphanies.
That was
that
your
happened
cave,
to
yeah.
me, right? Like another dimension only, where thoughts are just coming out, and like, do I deserve this? And getting pissed off with myself, getting pissed off with people, so many things. Like, I don't know how to even summarize it.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
it's a whole world of exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And constantly, and right from childhood things to the kind of person I am, to you don't have to bear everybody's burden, to loving. But the biggest thing that I've learned is that I was being kind in a way that was destroying me. Like, that is not kindness. That is so detrimental.
Yeah.
And I was being kind in a completely wrong way.
Yeah.
I was not being vocal about things that I didn't like, so that other person also didn't realize.
Yeah.
I was running away from things. I wasn't being completely honest to myself. I was
Yeah.
like, you have to be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
I wasn't being that. Just like,
Wow, that's amazing.
it was crazy. Last year was just.
But that's such a beautiful and incredible realization that being kind to others without being kind to yourself is not kindness.
It's not, yeah.
It's kind of distorted, it's like you think you're doing the right thing, but it's actually the easier way to be. I
Yeah,
almost feel like
it
it's
is.
much harder
Yeah.
to learn to be kind to yourself and others and
That's
toe
when-
that line.
That's when honesty, then that's when you're honest with the other
Yeah.
person, and when you're honest with the other person, then you recognize the problem and it can be solved.
Yes, absolutely.
But you're not recognizing the person, only thinking that nahi usko bura lagega.
And then you don't have to do the work of actually having those honest conversations.
Yeah. And you think you're being kind in that situation, ki mujhe, I don't want him to feel bad, but fuck, let him feel bad.
Yeah.
Or and understand the problem, define it,
Absolutely.
and then work on it. That is kindness.
Absolutely.
So that was like huge for me. And just understanding your problems, yeah. Every time you were out of something, like trying to
So do you
understand.
journal a lot? Like, do you process by writing, talking to people? How did you do that?
I actually process it in my own mind. Sometimes I write it down. Sometimes, like, there's no system in that writing. Like, sometimes if there's a book, I'll just write it down there, or on my phone.
Yeah.
Wherever, whatever. Like, I think I should have just more, sort of streamlined.
No, streamlining is overrated.
Yeah, but I am that messy,
Yeah,
I
you should
can't-
be messy.
I can't, like.
Even I take a piece of paper, I'm sitting here and I start writing, and it gets thrown away sometimes and gets filed away sometimes, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, like, but I find, I don't know, synergy in that. So
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like, recently I was visiting my mail ka drafts, And there are so many things that
Yes.
I've written.
What
in
was that like
It
to
was
read?
amazing. Like 2013 ka and 15 ka and
What did you
it's
see of
like,
yourself from the past?
I don't know, yeah, it felt like I've always been so heartbroken. Like I've written such intense things and picked up intense lines about love and being loved and like pasted them in the drafts and I was like, and that also really helped because Annie, like, what the fuck, you've only been like this, yeah, in pursuit
Revolving
of
around love and pursuit of love.
in pursuit of love and being liked and you should keep drafts is what I've realized because it just opens up this whole thing and it's like looking at what you've been concentrating on, right? Because you write about things that are bothering you and
Absolutely.
it's only been about love, never about like career or like my friends.
So how has that changed now? Like when you see yourself from the past and that focus on love, and how is it different now?
I think the last few months I've toned it down a bit because I went home again and I spent time with my friends and my brother and like drawing and all of that. So I could sort of give my attention to these things, you know, and not think about love for some time. And now also like I got a job, so now I want to like really do well in that. And and like I want it to be my everyday. Like I'm brushing, I'm going to work, I'm chilling with friends, I'm loving.
Yes.
And I'm whatever traveling.
You want love, but you don't want it to consume you. You don't want
Yeah.
you want to be able to live your life and
and still make that a part of it.
Absolutely, and enjoy it, and but also have your other interests, and not lose sight of how precious you are.
Yeah.
Not always depending on love to remind you of that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, suppose you're reading a book and you really like it, you read it, then one day you forget, which is okay, it doesn't alter your routine or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't feel guilty about it
Yeah.
or whatever. And then after like a week or something, I was like, oh, I want to pick it up again and then read it. Like, sometimes get really consumed by it, sometimes just.
You want to be like that with love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and books, like, it always feels so natural, right? Like, it's not, you're not breaking your heart over it. Shit, मैंने book क्यों नहीं पढ़ा आज, or like, I haven't given it enough attention or whatever. So I think now I've reached a point where I want to make it that natural.
Yeah, and you just don't want it to consume you, is what I'm hearing. You don't want all your attention to be on that.
Yeah. वो क्या है इतना dependency यार? Again, like I view it as drugs. Exactly like drugs, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do I want to be high on love all the time?
All the
I
time.
want to be high on eating sand again. You know? And I want to be high on like recently I went for this football match, okay? ISL is going on, right? So there was a match between Goa and Bangalore. So I got free passes from office and all that. So I went and like you enter and then you reach a point where you see the ground for the first time, right? I got so high, mega, because it's just like green and people are so free and they are running and they're fit. And just that one side got me so high and I was like, yeah, matlab, I want to get high with these kind of things and not just like bother myself and be heartbroken all the time. What is wrong with me?
Yeah, not being
Not
able to
wrong.
appreciate the other sides of life, like
Yeah.
and not just people. And I feel like we lose ourselves in that sometimes, and
So much.
everyone I see who's starting to become alive again, I see them doing things that they're passionate about, doing art and dance, or small things that interest them, and it's not related to their partners. Whether or not they're in relationships, I always feel like that's what I notice when people are starting to really live fully. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, and it's so true, yeah, because the satisfaction of having created something whole, or like having something in your control, right? Like if you're making an art, everything is in there. Obviously, talent, whatever, varies and all of that, but it's all up to you.
Yeah.
And the satisfaction of having created something is all yours.
Yeah. What brings
feels
you alive?
great.
What do you?
I love to swim, and I love to like draw.
What do you
And
draw?
I really like flowers and birds, so I draw those like a lot. I also draw like shitty stick figures, but I like to like then write some dialogues or whatever, like create scenes.
Nice. Almost like cartoons.
Yeah, I love reading graphic novels, and
Nice.
and I think that's my medium. Like that's how I want to express also. Like if ever
Like through illustration, you know.
yeah,
Almost.
drawing, but not like that. Those perfect drawings, you know, like
Just cute drawings.
like Wait But Why used to have
Yeah.
those, whatever strips, right? Those
Just stick
kinds.
figures, yeah.
And like bring it more alive through words, because I'm not an artist. I'm like a writer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
I really enjoy those.
And when you do more of that, how does that feel?
Like it's just nice moments, like which it's I don't like taking pictures, and like journaling also sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But suppose I'm making a graphic novel for someone I love, then I'll just pick those moments and I'll draw. Like,
Yeah.
suppose I had a great day at work, I'll just pick that one or two things, or like some funny conversation that I had.
That's
So
amazing.
it's actually a way of journaling only.
Absolutely.
If you want to call it like that. Yeah, actually it is journaling.
It is.
Yeah.
Who said journaling is writing like
Dear diary.
like a diary entry? It's just sharing something about your life and seeing it come alive on paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if that moment like had a flower in my hand, so I draw that flower also, because that's the scene, like you want to remember it fully,
Yes.
right? Like when you're writing in a diary, I think it's
flat.
restrictive.
Yeah.
I can't be writing and I had a flower
You
in
can't
my
build the
hand.
scene, and you want to sort of imagine the scene.
Yeah, so
bring it alive.
those subtle things don't need to be written, right? Like you can just show it in the drawing, and then whatever the conversation or how I felt or whatever is easier to express.
Yeah.
So I like that.
That's amazing. So, we've talked a lot about like your life and like a little bit about your growth in the past year. How do you look at it like going forward? What do you want to give yourself? What do you want to focus on for yourself?
Right now, like I don't know, I've not made a plan like for the future, but right now I'm at a stage where I'm just accepting love. Like I'm not, I'm living with two of my friends in Bangalore, right? And like they are my younger brothers, friends, so they also like view me as an elder sister kind of a thing, like without defining it, but that's the equation, right?
Yeah.
So they may like, and this is the first time I'm not running a household. Like I don't have to worry about ration or the water is over or chai bana
You'll
ke
do it
nahi.
together.
No, there's one guy who just takes care of everything.
Nice.
You know, so I'm just taking in that love.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I'm living with, in the same city. I have a lot of cousins. So like few are working, two of them are in college. You know. So when they come, right, and they're all younger, so suppose I'm just sitting here and one brother will be like, "Aapka peet dukh raha hoga, ye just keep this pillow, it'll be nice for you." Or when they come, they get food, or they take so much care of me.
That's so beautiful.
So I'm just right now in that phase where I'm just taking in.
Why is
whatever
it
comes.
important to you?
Because I think that it'll make me kinder. Like kindness only comes out when you are fully satisfied.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like in the last year, I also realized I've become so bitter and so impatient and not sympathetic in so many whatever, because I was myself like so broken, right?
Yeah.
So I want to build myself completely, because kindness is very important to me. Like
Absolutely.
I cannot be. It really bothers me. I cannot be any other
Absolutely.
way, right? So I need to then build myself so that more kindness comes out.
You need to feel nourished, and you need to
Yeah.
feel like I'm whole and like I'm not broken. I'm loved.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
feeling loved
exactly,
is such an
yeah.
important place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I'm satisfied, then whatever kindness will come out, right? Then I'll be able to handle people better, relationships better.
I'm connecting with it. Also, you're saying that, it sounds like, and maybe I don't know if I've gotten it right, but like this idea of when you grow up learning to please others and take care of others and being kind to others and not take care of yourself. I'm hearing that part of your journey now where you are learning to take care, like allow others to be kind to you, to take care of you, and to fill yourself instead of focusing on, no, I must give up myself to take care of others. And that is such an important part of then you learning to be like, okay, now I want to share my love and kindness
now
with
I feel
everyone
like
else.
Full, I'm like loved enough.
Yeah.
So now I can give it to you, right?
And to be able to have both, then to allow yourself to be loved and to love and find that balance. But it's amazing that you're able to say that, no, right now I'm just accepting love, and
Yeah.
applications are open.
Like simple things, okay? Like suppose anda khatam ho gaya hai ghar pe, and I would be like, I'll go and buy, and if someone will volunteer, I'll say, no, don't worry, I'll go get it, right? I'm not allowing that kind of like, if someone is volunteering to get it, I'm like, yeah,
Get
sure,
it,
go
yeah,
get
thanks.
It. Like, why should I burden myself so much? There are people.
Why do you have to be so good? Why do you have to be so like proper and like?
And always like thinking ki nahi, why should he go? Yeah, I'll go. Why should I be putting myself down or whatever? Like, I'm not saying it was too much effort or whatever, but
still,
my thinking was only like completely different. So now I'm just taking in. If somebody wants to get me gifts, I'm accepting everything.
That's amazing.
Like without the burden of thinking, shit, I didn't think of giving that person a gift or whatever. Like you try to sort of balance it out.
Yeah.
But right now I don't want to do it. I just want to take anything in.
That's amazing. Thank you for allowing me to love you by talking to you and hearing your story.
That's so much fun. It's always like I discover so many things about myself. Like now I'm going to go back and obviously think about certain answers which I don't think I could give answers to because I have not thought about it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of talking to someone, right? And just like, I don't know, it's just different. You say stuff without planning to. Even if you knew these questions might have been coming, you would still not know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
You can't plan it, and
can't.
stuff just comes out. It's like art to me. You don't know what's gonna come out, and it comes out and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know that was inside me.
Yeah, it is art. Like art is not just drawing, right? Like Carl Sagan is an artist who knew so much about like space and that when he's written about it, like when he's written it in a book, it's like poetry.
Yeah,
that is art.
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
you do is art. Yeah, it is. And also that art of being able to take things out from people.
Yeah.
Because I'm not comfortable talking to like everybody.
Right.
I would always like hide myself. You've seen me, right?
Yeah, I have.
Just hiding myself.
Yeah.
And like talking to you for the first time was like
I know, I was literally like, little bit pulling things out
and
being very careful because I didn't want to cross your boundaries, right? I didn't want to push you to be vulnerable if you didn't want to be. So even just learning that, and then I've experienced you becoming so much more open about who you are and finding pleasure in sharing. So when I was going to do this, I was like, Anisha, I want to talk to Anisha.
That's so nice, yeah, because people don't put in that effort, like, in knowing that person, and I might have given you like really short answers or not deep answers or whatever, but then you kept at it. Like, you are one of the few people in that group, I must say, that I actually opened up to.
Yeah.
Because you just kept.
I almost worry
I
that,
did it,
I'm like, I don't want to, because I enjoy these kind of questions so much. It's like, I don't want to ask somebody something if they're not ready to talk about it. I don't want to do it for my own curiosity or my own agenda. But it's just, I want to get to know you, you're this beautiful, rich person like everyone is. And so it's like my way of experiencing the richness of people. So, which is exactly why I'm doing this.
That's so nice, Megha. Really, no, it's hard to get through to people, and you got through to me, which was like okay. And there's one more thing. I don't know how it comes, but I can, if I don't want to answer, I can be like, Megha, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I know
great.
You'll not be
Yeah.
like.
I'm relieved when people do that, because I'm like, okay, then I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
I know that they're capable of saying no.
And I don't have to tell you everything. That burden is also not there.
Absolutely.
Like, so
you can go however far you want to, however shallow you want to. It's totally your call. So
that's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was amazing talking to you.